Well, one of the things that I really like about your design work is that you're marrying simplicity with beauty. And that's a really remarkable combination. I think beauty is maybe one of the human needs that we don't recognize quite up there with shelter and food and all of that. And
Preach.
I think it's something that I really see in your work. Talk to me about how, because there is a simplicity that's just plain ugly. You know, it's just not, it's
There's a
just
lot
empty
of it. Yeah,
space. You know,
absolutely.
but you're creating space that is simple and beautiful both. How is that happening? Where is that coming from for you?
Yeah,
Is it a
thank
lot of trial and error
Yeah,
or,
absolutely. I
yeah,
think everything's an iterative process. Everything done well is,
yeah,
there's always ways to improve. I appreciate you acknowledging that. I mean, to me, kind of like your wall behind you, you've got form and you've got function. And I think
yes.
it starts with function,
Hmm.
but what happens in so much of building or so much of what we do, but especially creating things and highly functional things like a house or building,
Hmm.
especially in America, is we compromise form all the
Yeah,
time. Just throw
always.
it out the window.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't really care about it, right? And that's
Right.
okay. A lot of people aren't naturally, they don't have a disposition to notice those details or even really care, and that's totally fine. But
Hmm.
what I've learned in being obsessed with space and beauty, like I am a very aesthetic person. It's
Right.
really hard for me to do anything and to create anything if I'm not my obsessive, compulsive, like it's got to look beautiful.
Right.
Uh, is not satisfied. I mean, to me, functionality doesn't have to mean it precludes or excludes art. I mean, to
Hmm.
me, I consider what I'm doing an artistic expression, and I would consider myself. I'm a designer first, and I would consider myself an artist
Yeah.
first and foremost. So,
Yeah.
um, what you're saying is like, yeah, to me, it is very important form, and it's hard to. I think it's hard for a lot of creative people. It's hard to articulate what that uh, where that comes from, what that
Sure.
means. I think it's an accumulation of a lot of things, but just have a natural bent to be obsessive about details
Yeah.
and to create little scenes in places that are
Hmm.
functional, different parts of the house, but always have a cohesive kind of whole that they come together and complement each other, or speak to each other, echo each other. And I'll say this too is what I've realized, and again, working in all these different kind of industries, you're in different spaces, different types of spaces suited to different purposes.
Hmm.
Um, and I am really drawn. I don't do well long term in places that I don't feel inspired by the space. But
Right.
what I've realized is that a lot of people don't pay attention to the details of an aesthetic, but you they do kind of experience the aggregate of those details, and they will feel this beautiful this like they'll leave a space and they'll say, I felt so welcome there, or I felt so at home, or I felt so
Hmm.
inspired in that space. And they may not be able to tell you why that is, but
Yeah.
to me, I really strongly believe that is this accumulation of all these details
Hmm.
that they feel and they absorb unconsciously. And again, they may not have that artistic eye to know why, but I've just seen that time and time again with all different demographics. And that's, people don't have to say, oh, great job, you did this, I noticed this detail, I noticed this detail. But if they have a feeling and it's a
Right.
good, warm, welcome feeling, and they feel
Yeah.
inspired, then I've done my job well.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
One, one of the things I really love about your work is lighting, and it's one of those things that's impossible to do after the place is built. So I understand that you have to create it here first
Mm.
and then construct it in such a way that that's included in the process to get that result, because you can't just kind of happen accidentally upon the result that you're getting with the lighting and that kind of thing. So talk to me about designing lighting in and where you start with that in the process and where you're finding inspiration for lighting.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out. Designing or lighting to me is number one.
Yeah,
It's probably
it
number one.
shows in your work and it's huge the difference it makes. I mean, it's
Cheers.
huge.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
sorry,
you.
carry on.
No,
I'm
I
a fan.
tip my hat to you for being really into lighting. So I will say this: I've lived in a lot of old places. I grew up in old homes, and
Sure.
my family has a lot of people in my family have really old homes, and so after to me lamp lighting and putting dimmers on lamp lighting and really strategic, cool lamp lighting, you can make after the fact, aftermarket. But when
Yes.
you start with a blank slate, it's so much easier to create the exact aesthetic and environment
Yeah.
you have. So I think if you can take a really boring room, right, and just a boring room, and if you have really good lighting, it turns into a sexy, engaging, exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so for me, like I like natural lighting is very important,
Hmm.
and then lighting design is very important. And what I've learned is like um, you really create two different experiences, right? If you have natural light, you just feel this warmth, this connection to nature, separating the boundaries between indoor and outdoor space.
Hmm.
And then at night, a home can come alive in
A
such a
whole different thing.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can create a lot of warmth in both settings and scenarios. But I've learned that, like, I think lighting design adds that real sexiness, that kind of like
Yeah.
visceral. Oh, okay, this is a different mood. I like this.
Yeah.
This is a little more playful, a little more engaging in a different way. And the orchid is by far my favorite
Yes.
design that I've
Yes.
done. And that was really inspired by the solar eclipse of 2017.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I said, I
Yes.
love nature. Nature's my sanctuary and where I get the most inspiration. And so valence lighting is in the orchid. So you don't see the source of any of the light. It's all
Right.
misdirected. It's covered
Yep.
up, and you see what the lighting does, where it covers in walls, and how it plays with indirect surfaces.
Yeah.
And so the solar eclipse is the ultimate balance. And it's this
Oh,
perfect,
cool.
and the change in the quality of the light that it creates is so unique, and it's so different from any type of bulb or any type of light that you have. And you can really specify and customize the lighting experience you have when you kind of hide the source of the light. So
Hmm.
I really, and the orchid really, it comes alive at night, right? It was designed with nighttime as the priority. So yeah, again, lighting, my number one secret hack that I'm reluctant to share, but always hide the source of the light. If you want really interesting lighting, hide the source of the light.
Okay.
So
We're always talking about intentional living, purpose, and contentment. It's so much fun. I put together these conversations in an online virtual summit. You can see the rest of this conversation and a whole bunch more at simplifymy.life. By the way, it's all free. That's really cool, right? Click the Learn More button when you get there, and that will show you the dates. Mark your calendar, register to save your seat, and I will see you at the summit. Don't miss a thing. This information is so exciting, and I'm so passionate about this topic because what it does is it takes us out of overwhelm into clarity and contentment and confidence. And that's really exciting for me, and that's what I want for you. So thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Go check out simplifymy.life now and register. See you at the summit. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.